By the right of the council, by the will of the force. Hello, everybody. How the hell's your MegaCon going? Come on! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. We are Jedi Talk, and welcome to the beauty of Batuu, the hidden details and secrets of Galaxy's Edge. I am one of the co-hosts of Jedi Talk, Tom Oakrey, and joining me as always here on the regular council today is to my left. Had to pull him away from the Lego room next door to us. Evan T. Boucher. Evan, how the heck are you today?
Adiga and good journey, everybody. That's right. I almost stayed over in the Lego room, but, I had business to do for once in my life, so I came over here.
And to his left, our other co-host here on the council this fine afternoon. He almost didn't make it because he turned Cool Runnings on Disney Plus before showing up here. Brad Hughes. Brad, how the heck are you today?
What's up, man? I'm good. MegaCon! Wrong Star Wars, wrong Star franchise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a good time. I've seen a lot of really cool cosplay. You guys are crushing it.
You're looking great out there.
I'm jealous. I am not talented like that at all. So I'm very jealous of
right,
anyone who can pull off cosplay. He knows. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a good time.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So let's go ahead and jump on into this. So this panel is called The Beauty of Batuu, the hidden details and secrets of Galaxy's Edge. I'm assuming everyone in this room has at least heard of Galaxy's Edge, but has everyone been to Galaxy's Edge?
There we go. That's all we like to see. That's all we like to see.
I got another question for you. Who has been on the Halcyon? All right.
Guilty as charged.
Who didn't raise their hands, make sure you stay till the end. We got some cool stuff to talk about the Halcyon, so we're going to get into that too. But this is the beauty of Batuu. So this panel came to me a few years ago when I was doing Star Wars Celebration, and I wanted to talk about this because it was kind of new at the time still, and I was in Anaheim. And the reason what inspired this was I wanted to kind of put into words the moment I felt when they finally announced Galaxy's Edge. I was so excited. It was like the worst kept secret in all of Disney. Everyone knew it was coming, but no one knew what it was going to be. And I think what it turned out to be was way different than what any of us expected it to be. They could have gone down this road of like, we're just going to make the Mos Eisley Cantina, we're going to do something else, but they decided to build a brand new world and immerse us all into this brand new world of Batuu, and I think they did a great job. And of course, they had to kind of lovingly shoehorn this into canon. And so that first thing we're going to talk about from Galaxy's Edge are the first mentions of canon. The very first time we saw Galaxy's Edge Batuu in canon was from the amazing novel Thrawn Alliances by Timothy Zahn, and this Easter egg was so cool because they were able to replicate the blaster marks inside of Oga's Cantina. I think, Evan, it is the second booth when you walk in.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Everyone here probably knows that pretty well, especially us three. We go to Oga's quite a lot.
Don't say we.
Who's read this? Who's read this book?
Yeah, that's what.
It's a great book. He is a
Check
fantastic author.
One of the best.
One of the best Star Wars books. And again, this is the first introduction of anything Batuu into Star Wars canon. By the way, we also want to say this. This is by no means a completely comprehensive list of everything and every single Easter egg. These are just kind of our favorites and stuff that we wanted to share with you guys.
They only give us 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Not 45 days.
No joke. This panel used to be an hour. We had to cut some stuff out. So
You got a minute and a half.
You got a minute and a half.
a minute and a half.
Muppet
Let's
Vision.
move on to the next panel here. Who has read the Galaxy's Edge comics? They are so cool.
There we go.
They are so cool.
I knew I liked you.
There are a ton of references in these comic books, obviously, but my favorite was the one where they introduced Ronto wraps before the park opened, and they made them like dirty, gross street food. I thought it was like such a cool thing. Something that's so good, right? Something that's so good. They made nobody wants it. It's cheap crap food. No one wants it, and they're still $14, of course. But
they're not cheap, but they are good.
There's plenty of stuff. I urge anyone to either, if you have read them, go back and read these. They're fantastic. If you haven't read them, seek them out. They are fantastic comics, and they'll just dive you deep into Galaxy's Edge. Another one of the references from this is this is interesting. I don't know how many people actually who haven't read the comics know this, but Doc Sarlacc inside of the Den of Antiquities was given to Dok-Ondar by Han Solo and Chewbacca. Does anyone know the name of the Sarlacc?
Ooh.
No?
Didn't know we were going to stump everybody that quick.
You can now flex with your friends. His name is Simpy.
Yep.
His name
Isn't
is
that
Simpy.
adorable?
It's cute.
And I don't know if you guys didn't know that, you might not know about the Ghostbusters reference on this container. Does anyone know about the Ghostbuster? Who's a Ghostbusters fan in here?
Yo, yeah.
We're in the right place for sure. So if you look on this container inside of Dok-Ondar's at Galaxy's Edge, and I think it's at Disneyland as well, I don't think it's just at Disney World. I think it's at Disneyland too. If you look on the red container on the side of it, you will see like some markings. Did I put it in there? No, I didn't. There's some markings on the side, and it's actually the symbols on the proton pack wand are on the canister of this. So if next time you're there, if you're a Ghostbusters fan, go check it out. It's
So
pretty
cool. Why? We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Let's move on to this one. So this is a book called Crash of Fate by Zoraida Cordova. We actually got to interview her on the podcast. She was amazing. This book is awesome. It's kind of a love story. So there's not really, like, it's not as Star Wars as you kind of think in your head, like what a Star Wars novel would be. It's a little different. But the thing they did really good with this, or what she did really well with this novel, is expanding Batuu as a planet and not just the one thing you focus on when you're at Galaxy's Edge, Black Spire Outpost. There are 3 cities that are referenced in this book. One of them is Pika, the other is Galma, and the last is Sarabat Valley. And this was my favorite part of this book. I freaked out, I literally freaked out when I heard this.
I remember the call.
I probably did call
And the
it.
texts.
There is illegal pod racing that takes place on Galma, and I am, she knows.
We won't mention it anymore.
I'm a big pod racing fan. I was 10 when episode 1 came out, so anything pod racing, I'm there for, and this made me so excited.
Go Pika.
Pika.
Not Galma.
No? You're not a Galma fan? Pika?
They also have the cast members in Galaxy's Edge pick which village they live in. So former cast members like myself got to pick Pika because that's better than Galma. But we won't talk about Galma. Sorry.
We won't talk about Galma. The next one, sorry for that joke. Next one this is probably my favorite Galaxy's Edge book. Not my favorite Star Wars book necessarily, but my favorite Galaxy's Edge book. Because this is like, if your day on Batuu is the movie, this is the prequel. Like, if you don't read this and you go to Galaxy's Edge, you are doing yourself a disservice. You need to read this book. It is absolutely fantastic.
We stand by Marathi on this podcast.
Yeah, we do, for sure. They even go so far as to give you a backstory for the Q of Rise of the Resistance. Like, they do so much legwork with, like, the lore of Batuu. Seriously, of all of the books, if you're going to Galaxy's Edge, this is the one you should read for sure. They also do and I'm saying spoiler-free intentionally, they also expand on the Savi's and Sons junkyard, which is where you get your scrap metal for your lightsabers. So they do a really cool expansion upon that. And also,
If you're having trouble talking to Vi too when you go to Galaxy's Edge, read this book.
Yes,
then
absolutely.
it gives you countless things to talk about with Vi Marathi. So that's a great character introduction if you want to build your role-playing aspects.
absolutely. Also, there is, as you can see in this picture, there is a crack in the bridge. And Ogas know that is not an Imagineering mistake, and they didn't have it in the budget to go fix it. That is actually like a blaster shot from Oga shooting her Wookiee boyfriend. And
His name was Duran,
Rest in
so
peace.
R.I.P.
rest in peace to Durant.
And that's why you don't want to bring up Wookiees around Olga.
We don't talk about Wood.
Yeah, he
Again?
cheated on her.
Sorry.
That's strike 2, man.
Sorry.
They're not even good jokes.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Let's get on to this next one here. This is another person we've had on the podcast before. We got to interview Kevin Shinnick. I was really, really obsessed with this book when it came out. Cool side story here. When he came on the podcast, he was talking about, we asked him about his writing process and how he went through writing the book. And he was like, funny story. So actually my first draft of this book got rejected by Lucasfilm. And we're like, why did it get rejected? And he was like, well, they kind of inadvertently told me that I accidentally wrote episode 9 without knowing it. So he had to go back and literally start from scratch and kind of, they still had the main character, I believe. But it was a really cool like side story. So this one doesn't have as much to do with Batuu. It's just that Carr is an amazing character. Go read this book for sure. But there is one really cool thing that happens with Batuu. He ends up going on a mission for Maz Kanata to bring back C-3PO's gold arm. Remember the red arm from The Force Awakens? It was like in like my top 3 things that I had to know about The
We're
Force
all like,
Awakens.
where'd it go? What the heck?
That was in this book, so go check that out if you're interested.
He goes to get it from a certain character on Batuu as well.
He does. Certain character possibly that owns a den of antiquities.
We'll never know.
Not origami bird yet.
Flavor.
And this is my last slide here for the book references. This is the Traveler's Guide to Batuu. I feel like not a lot of people have read this book. It kind of flies under the radar. Who has read this book? Perfect.
Yeah.
The same people that I thought would read the book have read the book. This is a great book because this is written as a in-universe travel guide. And so, as you can see, it's written by Eloch Thorno, the real writer being Cole Horton. It's just such a cool book, and they expand Batuu in a numerous amount of ways in this book. But my three favorite were they added actual holidays to celebrate on Black Spire Outpost. The first one is May the 4th, which is Black Spire Day. Then there's Life Day, yes, from that holiday special, on 11/17, and then Batuu Harvest Day on October 31st. So a few of those they haven't done anything with Harvest Day yet.
Not yet.
Which they should. But
5 years coming up?
5 years?
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's been
maybe.
5 years,
So if you haven't read that book, check it out. It's crazy.
I know.
I can't believe it.
That's how long I've known this guy, 5 years.
It's too long.
Because of
Sorry.
Batuu.
It's too long. It's entirely too long.
Yeah, 6 years too long.
But yeah, that's if you haven't read that book, check it out. It's pretty interesting.
All right, now we have references of Galaxy's Edge and Batuu in the beloved film. So before we move forward, I have questions to ask. I'm going to roll through all 9 episodes and the 2 break-off stories, and I want to know if it's your favorite, raise your hand. So The Phantom Menace, is that your favorite movie? There we go, we got one.
Hey,
All right.
nice.
I'm a little scared to ask this one, but whose favorite is the Attack of the Clones?
That is
That's
the
what I.
approach.
Oh, there we go.
Wait
So,
a second.
That's my son. No, it's not.
I don't know
Mine.
about that. We know you.
Whose favorite is Revenge of the Sith? Yeah,
Hey,
it's the
nice.
top 4 for me. That's a good one. All right, how about Solo?
Hey,
Solo,
okay.
Solo get more love. I love it.
Make Solo 2 happen.
Make Solo 2
Solo 2
happen.
happen.
Of course, my Chromebook shuts off. So, Rogue One. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Beautiful. A New Hope. Okay, yeah. Now, I'm thinking I'm going to know where the hands are going to go when I say The Empire Strikes Back.
There we go.
There it is.
That's actually less than I thought.
Return of the Jedi.
That's my favorite. Let's go.
Okay. Now, this panel's about Galaxy's Edge, which is in the sequel, so there's a PG panel here. So, The Force Awakens.
Nice.
Hey, there we go.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, I'm about to walk right into this one. This one's my favorite, The Last Jedi.
Me too.
There we
Yeah,
go.
Last Jedi.
It's a very close second for me. I thought we could.
Which is still canon, by the way.
Yes, it is.
As of the recording
As
of
of
this show.
2:57 Eastern Standard Time,
Yes.
today, February 2nd, The Last Jedi is still canon. Thank
Yes,
you very much.
thank you.
Finally, Rise of Skywalker.
Hey, okay.
All right, we got one.
I like it too. I don't hate
All
it.
right.
We saw a couple noddings of disapproval.
I
Hey,
don't
judge.
hate it. Is not like a great book.
No, yeah.
No,
It's not horrible.
no. That's why we're
It's
going to move it
not.
along. Brett, get to those solo references for me. Right there. We have, these were our first. These were our first references in the movie universe for Batuu and Galaxy's Edge. And before I get into those references, Brad has a fun story from the movies that I wanted to tell before I get into those.
So we went to one of the Galactic Nights a few years ago at Hollywood Studios, and they did like a big panel. I think they presented like 3 times a night that night, and it was like a full-on like reveal of Batuu. They gave us the name of Doc Ondar. They gave us the name of Black Spire Outpost. So the next day, we go back to rewatch Solo again in theaters, and I catch these 2 references, and my mind is blown. I'm like, how did they plan it this
I love
far in
when Disney does
advance?
this stuff.
It's so
Yeah,
cool.
those
So-
are the intricate details. So, yeah, head to that next slide. So there's specific mentions from Kira on Dryden Voss's ship, which first runs into Han. Just simply asks a tender there, have you been attentive to Doc Ondar? That infamous Doc Ondar, where I got all my lightsabers that are burning lots of money on my wall at home. And then
We have been
L3,
attentive.
as walking with Lando, going to the Falcon that was in the impound lot. She just simply says, you couldn't make it from here to Black Spire without me. Yelling at him. It's just like giving him the business. So he deserved it.
I'll
Lando
never
deserved it.
forget that moment in theaters. Like,
Yeah.
That was such a cool,
That's so cool.
cool moment.
So the Force Priestess statue that's been seen in Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and in the Clone Wars is right outside Doc Ondar's. Blink and you'll miss it. This is one of my favorite things in Galaxy's Edge because as a big fan of the movies and Revenge of the Sith being in one of my top, it's fantastic. Speaking of Docs from Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine's office mural, broken up as soon as you walk right in. Blink and you will miss that. Can anyone tell me what's this depicting?
It's a giant fight between the Sith and the Jedi. It's an ancient fight.
Do you know what it's called?
No.
The Great Hyperspace War. That's what this mural is depicting, but that's exactly what it is.
I didn't even notice this until like 2 years after it opened. I was like, wait, I've seen this before somewhere. I got home, watched the movie. I was like, yeah, that's been
right
in front of
when
my
you walk
face
in.
for 2-3 years.
It's right when you
Yeah,
walk in. You're
right
very
there,
observant.
right? Crazy.
Very observant.
Yes, I am. Very.
Everybody knows the X-34 land speeder sitting there in Saljub's garage, where you see Rey and Vi quite often. Chewie's over there, and then you see some First Order troopers peering over the top. This is actually Salju's garage, and Salju owns that X34 land speeder. It's not Luke's, as a lot of people I think have thought. And speaking of the Halcyon, there is a commercial loop that plays in that garage for the Halcyon.
It's in the like radio music loop.
All right.
It still plays to this day too, so
That's awesome.
it's still there.
Still there, they haven't taken it out yet.
No.
Yeah, don't give them
Don't
ideas.
tell them.
Please
Don't
don't
take
give
it
them
out.
ideas.
Don't give any ideas.
They take away ribbons. They'll take away anything.
All right, so you've been to Galaxy's Edge, but who has ridden Riders of the Resistance?
The greatest
Yeah.
attraction ever made.
Yes. Whose favorite attraction ever is Rise of the Resistance? That's what I thought.
Nice.
All right.
Haunted Mansion still squeaks it out for me. Just
Yeah,
by
it's
a
still
little.
my top
by
three.
a little bit.
Pirates,
By a little bit.
Mansion,
I love
Rise.
Mansion.
That's it for me.
It was always Primeval World for me.
Primeval World.
I missed that.
I'm so glad
I do miss
that's
it too.
gone.
I do. Yes.
All right, so back to business, Brad. Okay, the Flex Poly back to suit Finn wears in The Last Jedi, which is still canon. You walk through it at the end of the Rise of the Resistance queue, and every time I want to start this now. So if you haven't done this already, every time you run into this back to suit, you just got to simply sit back and scream "Ray!" So really loud.
Do it for Finn. Do it for Finn.
Yeah, do it for Finn.
It's like you're watching the movie all over again.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Oh, these trash cans. This is cool. So Disney loves its details, and blink you'll miss this one. This spectacular trash compactor number of 3263827. Does anyone know what that's from? New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Luke Conley and Chewie were stuck on the Death Star, and that says on everybody's trash dissector 3263827. So small details. How cool is that?
Most people don't even see that.
No.
Did anyone in this room know that reference? Sweet.
Okay.
Couple.
Of course
Nice.
you
Very
do.
good.
I'm your dad. Of course you did.
He could be lying.
He probably is.
Speaking of trash compactors, the Dianoga over the water fountain through the marketplace right next to those restrooms. When it works, it's great. Sometimes he's really sleeping down there. But the water's, after the first 2 months, it gets a little gamey, and then you just get used to it.
He's a little shy though. That's why he doesn't always come out like that.
Does anyone know the Dianoga's name? I don't either. I just was curious.
Oh, you don't? I do.
Oh, you do?
I do know the name.
Oh.
Kyle's mom.
Close, because his name is Tiny, so it's perfect for Kyle.
Next slide.
I'm sorry.
Okay, this is my favorite thing out of all of Galaxy's Edge.
This was the first Easter egg I saw at
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge when they were building it.
So
Yeah.
you see 77 and 83. What does that mean to you guys?
Those are years.
Exactly.
There
New
we
Hope
go.
and Return of the
Yes.
Jedi.
Yes.
Anyone know how you see Empire Strikes Back?
It's on the inside.
Inside of Docking Bay 7. How cool is that? Makes me feel like I'm playing Tomb Raider or Fallen Order, like I'm going through to find this puzzle before I have to move an orb again with the Force for 20 minutes.
Ugh.
So
I like these puzzles.
you're just bad at Fallen Order.
I know. I'm very bad.
Brad, calm down over there with the pod racing engine that
Yes, I
cooks
get it.
the Ronto meat. A pod racing engine cooks your Ronto meat. I mean, how cool is that? Just if you're a fan of the prequels, or just a fan of Star Wars in general, that's how you're getting that greasy trash food. Is that how you
I'm
call
a
it?
fan of Rontos. Does that count?
Close.
Okay.
Speaking of Rontos, in the special editions, they actually added that creature that you see up there, and that's the Ronto.
The only thing I wish they would have done is I wish they would have made that pod racing engine be like from like Ben Quadraneros or I'm a pod racer.
Like a recognizable.
A recognizable pod racing engine. Because I remember in the concept art, it showed Anakin's pod racing engine, which now we know Cobb Vanth has, so
Right.
that makes sense why.
He has one of them though. Where's the
One
other
of them. It could be that's my only complaint is I wish it was like a recognizable one.
But they gave
And
you
real
the
quick,
flags.
the droid turning the meat, the 80J8 droid from Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi, and again, you see him in Book of Boba Fett. So that's reference to those.
Great little
This
ones.
is the only good special edition change, in my opinion.
No, there's better.
Nah, I'm
ones.
kidding.
The Emperor looking not like a
Yeah.
whatever he
Burnt toast.
was supposed to be in,
Yeah.
in the original Empire. And we can't forget how good the edition of that song is, Return of the Jedi.
No.
Jedi Rocks? Any Jedi Rocks fans out there?
No.
Yeah, okay.
There
Depends on
are,
how much I've had to drink.
there are some stuff out.
All right, R2-D2, and then there's also C-3PO tracks. So these were actually made from the original R2 and C-3PO mold and put into the ground in Galaxy's Edge. I mean, it's like the closest I'll ever get to actually meeting them, right? Like the real ones. Although I met R2 several times out there on the floor today. so.
True.
You know that it's at Hollywood Studios too, right? In
Yes.
front of the Chinese theater.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're in front of the Chinese theater.
Thank
Nice.
you for that.
Disney does grounds very well. If you've
Yes.
never been in a Disney theme park and have noticed it, look at the ground. It's really cool. The best example for me is in Storybook Circus. If you're walking around Storybook Circus, you can like look around and see the people like drop peanuts and stuff on the ground. So look at the ground next time you're there. Good times.
And that's at the Magic Kingdom, right? Yep.
So there's Brad smiling.
There's my big dumb head.
I don't think hopefully he's wearing pants.
That was opening day at Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yep, opening day, Galaxy's Edge Disneyland. That's so cool. I mean, the Marksman H training remote and face shield, obviously, A New Hope, episode 4, and then it does make its appearance in episode 9 as well.
And in Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka indeed. Blink, well, no, not blinking, you'll miss this, but that probe droid, particularly only in Disney's Hollywood Studios, trapped up there, is the probe droid that actually, and it's not a ship that caused the crater on Galaxy's Edge. Only in Disney's Hollywood Studios, it's this probe droid. So if you see that crater only in Hollywood Studios, it was created by this probe droid. I think Evan was saying it when he was a former cast member. You heard a lot of people talking about a ship.
Yes, most people think that it is our boy DJ Rex, formerly Captain Rex, who crash landed. But this is in the entrance near Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios. People always thought DJ Rex made that crash landing, but it was this probe droid who made that crash landing. So if you hear some misinformation out there, now you know you can tell them the probe droid made the crash.
Also, if you download the Disney Play app and you do some hacking, you can hack into this droid and he like lights up and yells at you. It's good times.
Yeah.
The Gonk droid tracks. I love it because Gonk droids are so cool. This is one of my favorite droids. There we go, Gonk droid.
Hey, nice.
Stand for Gonk droids. Next slide, please. Oh, all right. Strono Cookie Tugs. Barely in A Force Awakens.
This is a blink and you miss it.
Yeah, this
We keep
literally
saying
is
it,
Blink.
You can tell how far in the background he is by how blurry that image is.
Yeah.
And Cookie is the cook at Docking Bay 7 on Galaxy's Edge. Used to work for Maz Kanata. And I think, Evan, you heard there should have been something on Galaxy's Edge?
Yes,
As a
another
cast-
former cast member
Former.
fact that we have learned is
No,
sadly.
no one from Disney is here, right? Okay, good.
They're always listening to us.
Who cares?
Anyone that has any authority, like big time? No?
Who cares?
Oh, we're going. Don't tell anyone we said this.
But as much as we love Galaxy's Edge, it does kind of stink that this detracts from it a little bit because they were planning to build a Cookie animatronic inside of Docking Bay 7. So it's still awesome. We still love Galaxy's Edge, but it stinks that Cookie isn't physically there.
Right.
That would have been so cool.
Red, hold off. Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert!
You didn't see
Spoiler
that.
alert, if you
Blinking
haven't
missing.
played Batuu Bounty Hunters, but this is the final bounty that you get to the guild, and it's DJ from The Last Jedi.
Bounty
Welcome
number
to the
20.
guild, you found DJ.
Yeah, that was so cool.
This is a fun game.
That
Has
is
anyone
super
played
fun.
Batuu Bounty Hunters?
But we have some bounty hunters. Okay,
Okay.
nice.
Who's in the guild?
Okay,
Oh,
so you
there
caught
we
DJ.
go.
You caught him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry for everybody else that we spoiled.
Hey, live free, don't join.
But,
You know.
but this has been out for almost, I mean, this is an interactive game that you play on Batuu with the Magic Band Plus.
It's a ton of fun.
It is a ton of
It's
fun. You
addicting.
get your steps in for the day, exercising. There's certain areas around the park that you can get to explore that you might not normally go take a look at. And it feels like you're actually looking for these, and that really pairs up well with the Disney Play app.
We didn't include a picture, but another bounty you can catch. This is a really nerdy spoiler, so if you don't want to know, raise your hand and I won't say it. But a bounty you can catch is someone named Edmo Actically, but that name doesn't matter. He stole the Ark of the Covenant from Dok-Ondar. So in Disneyland, they have an Ark of the Covenant up in Dok-Ondar's shelves, but here in Hollywood Studios, it's not present.
Because he stole it.
Because this guy stole it. So if you scan the door and find this character, it'll read that he stole the Ark of the Covenant from Dok-Ondar.
And if that's not a retcon, I don't know what is.
Right. That was my favorite. I loved the DJ thing, but finding that blew my mind. That was my favorite part.
All right, talk about booze. Evan, take it over.
Well, booze, but from one DJ to another DJ. We have Olga's Cantina and my good friend DJ Rex. So most of you, who here has ridden the original Star Tours attraction at Disneyland, at Hollywood Studios? Nice, a lot of people. The original tour to Endor, we had an amazing pilot who, it was probably his first time on the job, so I'll cut him some slack, but he was a little rough, but we still love him. But his new job now is in Olga's Cantina as the DJ. So Mubo has kind of found him and repaired him a little bit. Mubo runs the Droid Depot, for those who might not be familiar with him. And now he's helping pay off some debt for Mubo with Oga, and he's playing the sickest beats from across the galaxy. He's sick with it, you might say.
He is sick with it.
Yeah, he's the bee's knees, you might say.
And a moment of silence for Paul Rubens, who voices DJ Rex. Thank you very
For
much.
sure, but
That one hurt.
Also one from the Star Tours ride.
yeah, yeah. This isn't one that is like remade.
Sure was.
This is literally from the attraction at Hollywood Studios. So, seeing him every time just kind of takes you back to your childhood when you would ride that attraction. So of course, there's other details in Oga's Cantina featuring these warts here you can find behind the bar. Now, as the slide showed, you can see the very attractive fellow sitting there in Tatooine by Jabba's castle or Jabba's palace there. So he has been, not that exact one, but one of that species has been brought in to help provide some little boba eggs to many of the drinks you might find in Oga's.
That's gross.
So don't think about it when you drink it. It's called drinking, not thinking.
Extra protein.
Yeah, there you go, extra protein. There are plenty of other details behind the bar as well. If you look at all of the little handles for the beer taps, you got the IG heads, which are like repurposed plane parts.
Yeah.
From not just any planes,
I think
but
it's a
from
Rolls Royce. if I remember
fancy
correctly.
planes,
Yeah.
Rolls Royce. So they got some fancy IG parts there. You can see a very memorable lightsaber that you probably can recall. Then you'll see maybe a cane that looks like Yoda's cane. Lots of little details, an X-Wing flight stick there for the beer taps. It's just, they really went all out when these could have just been simple metal handles. You know, they didn't have to, but when you see it like this, it just really sells the fact that it's an in-universe beer tap made of whatever the heck they could find lying around. There's plenty of other details that were also left out. We don't want to make us think it stinks, because we all love Galaxy's Edge. But there was also planned to be an Oga animatronic above the bar in Oga's. The audio
Don't
still...
tell Disney we told you this.
Yeah, or do, who cares? But the audio still plays, which we've discovered quite a few times when I turned on a lightsaber in Oga's. So she
I asked for a
will...
discount.
Yeah. She will yell at you if you turn on your lightsaber in the bar. So that still happens, but Oga herself isn't physically present, at least that we can see.
Yeah.
So she was going to be, though.
And if you look at the bar, like at the front, if you're saying right where the two sides kind of meet in the middle, you can see this like rounded area where they were like for sure going to put the animatronic. Like it looks,
Yeah.
once you see it, you're like, that's exactly what that was supposed to be for.
Nice. And she is a Blutopian, which we do end up seeing one of those species in Rogue One at the very beginning. So some other details that they have are in the forms of merchandising. You know, that's where the money from the movie's really made. Merchandising. The Yum Num mug is now in the second edition. You'll see there in that bottom picture. So the first edition is that top picture. And it's pretty clear to see that that is a representation of the Battle of the Second Death Star on the moon of Endor. There's so many cool little details on those mugs, which in-universe are supposed to be made from the wooden Wookiee, which is in the marketplace in Galaxy's Edge. It's a little wood carving stand run by a Wookiee. So it's kind of amazing Oga still does business with this Wookiee because of her past, but credits are credits, you know? And they have upgraded this is the only mug that they have yet to upgrade in Oga's after 5 years. So
That's true.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. They also have the Rancor beer flight here with the Rancor teeth. This is another souvenir vessel you can buy. This one hasn't been updated, so you can still get this first edition while it's there. And they have some other drinks that are served in other souvenir cups as well. You have the Cliff Dweller mug, which is that cute little porg there, also from the wooden Wookiee. So you can still get that. That's still first edition. And we have the amazing drinks there. Fuzzy Tauntaun. Who's got a favorite drink there? Fuzzy Tauntaun? Favorites?
Favorite Fuzzy?
That's my favorite. Okay.
Whose
nice.
favorite is the Yub Nub?
Go down
That's
the
mine.
line. Keep going,
There we
Tom. Yub Nub. Nice. How about the Bespin? Anybody? Bespin. Nice. Like it. Carbon Freeze. Anybody?
go. There we got one. There we go.
Okay, nice. That's what we like to see. How about the Dagobah Slugslinger? Okay,
There we
yep,
go.
yep. It's a little, the
Like it.
substance is a little off for a lot of people, but I like it too. I'm with you. What's that?
My favorite's not even in the picture.
What's your favorite?
The jet juice.
I know, I was gonna get
yes.
there. That's why I saved it, because that was the first drink I ever had in Oga's Cantina,
Yeah, me
was the
too.
jet juice.
Opening
Why
day.
is it not in the picture then?
Because it's too small. We love it, but it's just one drink and it's gone. So moving on, sadly.
Save it for the
Move on.
picture.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I have a funny story about the Fuzzy Tauntaun. I took my mom to Oga's. She knew nothing about it, and she started drinking the. I told her, I was like, get the Fuzzy Tauntaun, you'll love it. And so she's drinking it, and she starts telling me like, my lips are tingling. I'm like, what? Why are you are you okay? And she's like, no. And she kept drinking. I just didn't say anything, kept a straight face. I tricked her into thinking she was like having an allergic reaction to the drink, and she never forgave me for it. It was funny, but
whole room was turning
she
on
was
you.
mad. She was mad.
That's why you ruined Mother's Day, Brad. We told you it was Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh my goodness. And now,
Oh, no. You didn't tell me to put Gary in that
Hey,
picture.
man,
Gary.
I'm sorry. You guys have history.
Look at him on the Halcyon. He's a menace.
he's a menace.
You see that stormtrooper?
bad
Menace.
He did heckle Gary quite a bit on the Star Cruiser. So if you do come across Gary, give him a little bit of crap for Tom.
You'll see him.
You'll definitely see him.
He looks like that guy.
He's a little short for a stormtrooper. Doc Ondar is also a place to find many awesome references to the greater Star Wars canon. We don't have time for all of them, of course.
Yeah,
but
call it the elephant out in the room, though. The one that was staring at us in the face before.
that little Grogu chainmail shirt has been there since opening day in 2019.
We went back through and looked.
2019.
We found these pictures like a few years ago, and I think at the time
That one is from alleyears.net,
Yeah.
but we have some
we
that
have
are
some
grainier
from
in our
us
phones
that are from
opening
opening day that include that, and no one like even realized that it was there.
Yeah, they
So
planned that
crazy.
out so far in advance. Another thing from The Mandalorian Season 2. Now, this one is only in Hollywood Studios. This one is a screen-used X-Wing from Mandalorian Season 2.
Yep.
Carson Teva was in it, Trapper Wolf was in it for filming, so they used it just for those scenes in at least the Bill Burr episode, possibly a couple
Yeah.
others.
I also
But-
love the fact that it's at Hollywood Studios, which was a theme park based around movie making. It was such a cool choice to put it there instead of like Disneyland that gets everything.
Yeah. Disneyland has the Ark of the Covenant, but we have a screen-used
Yeah.
X-Wing.
That's right.
Take that. And they
Take
have
that.
45 characters that we don't have. Take that.
Does
Now-
anyone know this? Has anyone heard of this little secret? Okay.
Nice.
Okay,
okay.
yeah, I think it's
I-
starting to pop around.
I love showing people this. When I used to work in Edge, I would just hang out by the Falcon, and I would spend half my day just be like telling people that were trying to find it or helping, guide people there to find it. So if you don't know where it is, on the giant Millennium Falcon, one of only 2 complete Millennium Falcons on the planet. If you look at the cockpit, to the left there's those ridges that run along the side. Just follow those ridges down till you find that pipe. And there's a tiny Millennium Falcon that's the size of a phone maybe, parked on the bottom of the real Millennium Falcon. Now there are at least two hidden Mickeys in Galaxy's Edge. The one on the left is on Rise of the Resistance, towards the end. I'll just tell you that much. It's in the room where Kylo Ren sometimes makes an appearance. And then the one on
Or the room where you see him out the window, depending on how
Yes, yes.
Sometimes he's like it.
Yeah, and the one on the right, of course, is with the Hondo Onaka image, where he's telling you your mission is to go to Corellia. Now, of course, a little details about the Galactic Star Cruiser. We don't have enough time to talk about every detail, but who here has been on the Star Cruiser again? Yeah, Star Cruiser people are?
The best people.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear.
As one!
Oh,
Yes,
nice shot back there, yeah.
that was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Now, in
I saw you
Oga's...
guys earlier today.
Yeah. Now in Oga's, this has also been there since opening day and still is, knock on wood. Don't ever take it away.
Don't give them any ideas.
The Halcyon Help Wanted sign at the bottom of that board in Oga's. This sign, translated from Arabic to basic, says, Mechanic wanted, experience with Chandrillan Class 1 starship required, and the ability to speak Shriwook a plus. Contact Captain R. Keevan of the Halcyon, CSL. So we all know who that might be talking about. Our beloved Sammy. What a crazy reference. That's been there for years, right in front of our faces. And then we all got to meet Sammy. How crazy is that? Mm-hmm. He's one of our friends now. And so,
I'm glad to know he got the job.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about the Halcyon commercial loop that plays. You can also hear it in the bathrooms
Yep.
in Galaxy's Edge.
It's a weird detail I don't know if we wanted to add, but I'm glad you did.
I
'cause
had
it is
to.
true.
I had to. And look, we have some holo scans here from our voyage, and one of the little details there they included, the bottom left is the initials in Arabic of Han Solo and Leia Organa, left in the engineering room when they were actually on their honeymoon, from Princess and the Scoundrel, one of my favorite books. Who here has read Princess? Yes.
Love that book.
Great
Yeah.
book, great book. Frozen Grapes, not really a reference, but shout out to the Frozen Grapes.
Shout out to Frozen Grapes.
If you know, you know.
Shout out to him.
Now,
Those are
there's
surprisingly
not
good.
a holo scan on there, but in the atrium, did anyone look to the left where those steps are that only the cast members could go up? the 2 lightsaber slash marks. Does anyone know what those are from? Yes, Anakin and Ventress when they battled it out in the atrium.
Can't wait to see her in Bad Batch 3.
Right?
Also, I'm mad at both of you for not letting me correct my hand. My hand is in the wrong
He's got
position.
the wrong
You
side
embarrassed
of
all
the
Saja in front of
Yeah.
everybody.
Shame. Dishonor on your family,
Saja
dishonor on your
fans,
cow.
If anyone can Photoshop that for me, I'm serious. I'll send it to you to Photoshop it.
I'll
Now-
give you double weight pays to not Photoshop.
I'll add to that too.
Oh,
I don't want to mispronounce it here in front of Lubeth because she has corrected me on many times. But we have the fish from the Star Cruiser, the Hydromenaze. Hydromenaze. I'm so close. But those fish. And
Does
does
anyone
anyone
know
know
the
the
fish's
names of the fish?
Yes, Kira and Skeeter.
Kira and
Oh,
Skeeter.
okay.
Pinky in the brain.
I like
Okay.
that.
And then someone
Lubeth?
else.
Twee and La?
Twee and Lam. Okay. That rhymes
Lubeth,
with.
what was it?
Kyle's mom.
Yes.
Okay,
Kyle and Kyle's
okay,
mom
there you
was
go,
ours, yes.
there you go. So, that was one of the things on the Halcyon. If you were the first person to get to the Sublight Lounge, you could name the fish. That was your idea. Oh my gosh, you heard it here first. Heard it here first. Now, going back to our Batuu, there is still, knock on wood again, don't take it away, a reference to a one Gaia in the creature stall here at Hollywood Studios. And in Disneyland, it's actually at the Outfitters, Black Spire Outfitters. It's on like a roll of cloth in the ceiling with a tag that says, on hold, Gaia.
The Galactic Superstar.
I don't know what creature she bought, but I really want to know now.
a loft cat,
A Lothcat, you think? I don't know.
for sure.
Yeah, Lothwolf. And then we have the Shudrador. Yeah, no, I know, that's terrible.
That was
For,
tough.
no,
I stole
it
it from
was.
somebody, I don't know.
But it's the cabin for the creator himself, Shug Trabor.
It's Kyle's quarters.
He is the famous Anzellan that founded Chandrila Star Line and built all the Star Cruisers in the fleet, but he built the Halcyon. So they included this on the stairwell leaving the atrium. A tiny, tiny little cabin door. That was, if you knock on it and stuff, so cool. Now, the history of the Chandrila Star Line, it's passed through many, many hands, but you can read about it in the Halcyon Legacy comics. But the Hutts even owned it at one time. And there are still trails of like their slime you can find on the floor every now and then, especially around the Sublight Lounge, perhaps, because they seem to lounge a lot there. But it's passed through many a hand in galactic history. No, it's impossible to clean. It's harder to scrub out than resistant scum.
Have you tried Windex?
That's what I need. Noted for March 1st.
Space Windex?
Space Windex. And the High Republic era, which has come out, and we all have fallen in love with. Who here has read High Republic stuff? Nice, nice.
Okay.
The Halcyon helped tow Starlight Beacon in the High Republic. So, I mean, this thing has been around for 275 years. It's helped out everyone. It's been in many a faction, so it's a big part of galactic history.
This is making me sad.
I know. And then, of course, a huge reference to the greater Star Wars universe aboard the Halcyon is the Yoda holocron, where that did make me cry and made me sad in the moment, man. Like, that was an emotionally impactful moment. So they just tied it to the entire universe perfectly throughout the whole experience, but with Yoda showing up at the end.
So if you want more information on Halcyon, like I said, they only give us 45 minutes and we could talk about that and Galaxy's Edge forever. But we are, again, Jedi Talk, a Star Wars podcast. We've had the great honor to interview former cast members,
Former.
Jason Keller, who portrayed Wraith Cole, Adam Riley, who portrayed Lieutenant Croy, and Lubeth, our chemist, who's here in person today. We made a great video, made unhinged Star Wars cocktails with her.
One was pretty good.
fun
The
video.
other
Yes.
3 or 4 were not.
And then there's also somebody out there that's not a published episode, but if you got one of our stickers, just scan that QR code and you get the same e-file when we interviewed Sage Starkey, who played Lieutenant Croy
Don't tell anyone.
Or do.
and Sammy. So we're at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Jedi Talk, Jedi Talk on TikTok, and Jedi Talk Podcast on Facebook. So we don't mourn the Halcyon. We are going to celebrate the Halcyon, but in many ways. So Jedi Talk, along with Stand Up, Lieutenant Rook, everybody, round of applause for Rachel Ash right here. She
This would
has
not be happening.
almost, she created our website. So this is the Halcyon, the legacy continues. This was Evan's brainchild, and Rachel came aboard and was like, "Oh, we should do this," and then we're like, "Yeah, she's really smart."
That
Yes,
what
yes.
she said. I second that.
It's a unique, immersive story, fan-driven event led by 3 different factions at Disney's Hollywood Studios on March 1st. Now, if you want more, I do have stickers for this particular
You gotta come up with those.
event. I can tell you a whole bunch about it, but I want you to go look it up and check it out. Disney does not sponsor this. This is fan-sponsored. They don't own this.
They are not involved in any way.
But they're led by 3 factions, and it's story-driven, immersive LARPing on Hollywood Studios, doing what the Halcyon did best. And we're going to try to emulate that. We're not going to do a good job at it, but we're going to try
We're gonna
really
do our
freaking
best.
hard.
We're gonna
We're
do
gonna
our
best together.
As one.
Thank you. So the Resistance will be led by Lieutenant Rook, Rachel over here. First Order will be led by Regional Governor of Hana City, Chandrila, Avant Varick.
For the order.
Space fascist over here. And I will lead a new faction that I've created called The Cause. The Cause despises the First Order but doesn't trust the Resistance, and very heavily influenced by the partisans in Saw Gerrera. So people have gone onto the website, they've signed up. It's full.
First Order has spots.
First Order has
It's
spots.
like 2 or 3.
Okay. All right, First Order has some
We
spots,
only
so-
take the best, though. That's why we have spots open. I turn people away.
Yeah, that's not it at all. So if you want to know more about that, see me. I've got a sticker. You can check it out. We're on Instagram, and well, you can check it out on the sticker. So Brad, next please. And finally, one of the last things that we'll be celebrating, our dear old Galactic Star Cruiser, which this is sold out. Yep, sold out. Halcyon 2024. You guys want to stand up? Round of applause putting this together. Martin Christine Central.
Martin and Christine.
Celebration of the Halcyon. October 4th to 5th. Check it out. Halcyon on Instagram. And that's it.
That's
Thank
it.
you guys. We've been Jedi Talk. You guys have been
Thank you
awesome.
for coming.
Thank you. Enjoy your MegaCon.
MegaCon.
Thanks, Cosmo.